G'day, we're David and Paula. Like many people, we've been working hard for many years and we're too young to retire, but we've decided to take a gap year from work. We've bought a new van and we're doing a lap right around Australia. In this episode, we take our rig to the stunning northeast coast of Tasmania. We take a wrong turn on the beaten track. And do we find the worst free camp ever? This is just absolutely insane.
On an archaeological report, so you see the size of the head there. Planks, overlapping planks, going on. It's one of these. The roof, the same spacing, the same dimensions.
So that was Hobart. What did you think of Hobart, Paula?
It was quick, wasn't it? You can't see much because
Just the barriers.
yeah.
70 km/h speed.
It says Frederick Henry Bay. I just thought, look at that. Look how pretty it is. Music, please.
G'day. It's a Sunday morning and we're at a place called Denali in Tasmania at the moment, and you know, all the fun stuff of visiting all of the lovely places, and your cooking and your camping and all those sorts of things. You've also got to do a bit of admin. So you've got to do the shopping just like at home, but the other thing of course is that you've got to refill things like gas and all that sort of stuff in your vans. We're lucky, we've had a pretty good run. We use our gas reasonably regularly, and on this trip it's actually been quite cold in some places, so the little trimmer gas heater's been fantastic. But every now and then you've got to find gas. So let me know how you find gas. We've got relatively new, good quality gas bottles, so we don't necessarily want to swap and go. Of course you'd do it if you needed it, but we'd prefer at the moment to get our gas bottles filled. So I use an app called Gas Finder. and I'll put it in along with things like wiki camps. It's sort of one of the apps that we use, and the other one is Petrol Spy, so that sometimes you just got to put fuel in where it is, but if you've got some choices and you can find the cheaper fuel, even better, especially with fuel prices being up as they are. I'm interested to know what the best ones are. It's supposed to be at the Shell service station here. They both swap and go and gas refills. So that was a partial win. Unfortunately, the fellow who sort of runs or owns the service station, so Pat, nice fellow, and at first he sort of said, "Oh, look, yeah, no way, I'm by myself," and well, I was fine with that. I mean, of course he's by himself. He's got to, attend the counter, his cash register. He's got things he's got to look after, and people are sort of filling up with fuel. So I get it. That tone is very annoying. It's my stone stomper just gets picked up by the sensors. So Pat sort of said, "Yeah, can I wait until wife gets back?" And he's asked me to leave the bottle, and he'll fill it up for me, and I'll come back and pick it up in an hour and a half. I don't know about you guys, but our view is that we've got 2 gas bottles. When we empty one, we switch to the other one, and then as soon as possible we try to get that one filled, so that effectively you've always got the one you're using and one spare. Can't always do it that way. Yeah, Denali's well equipped, and I've said this before, but some of the local councils around the country do it really well. So nice, well maintained public loos, because we've got the composting loo. Sort of empty the wee bottle, which is not the most pleasant thing to talk about, but it's one of the benefits of it, because it's not treated, it's just human waste, which means that you can put it down the loos and sort of flush it. It's not the most pleasant job, of course, but as I've said before, if you've got cats and dogs, cleaning up after them is much more unpleasant. A couple of rubbish bins there. These are all the little things that don't get shown on Insta pages. These are the things that you have to do if you're going to live on the road, when you're not sort of connected to all the utilities like you are at home. But yeah, not the end of the world, relatively easy to do, particularly if you plan. And again, hats off in this case to the Sorell Council for some of those people whose personal hygiene isn't fantastic, and they don't use these facilities and those sorts of things. There's absolutely no excuse. So the reality is, if you're not self-contained, then you've got to use those public facilities and look after them. Otherwise they'll get taken away eventually, or otherwise just go and pay to a caravan park and do that. But don't spoil it for everybody else. And for those of us who've sort of got the equipment, yeah, well done to the councils. I'd take my hat off to you. So the weather knew that David and Paula were coming out today.
It's raining.
Again.
Because it's in my pocket.
Yeah, so the thing that we particularly wanted to do in Denali, if it comes off I'll let you know, but otherwise it's not worth talking about, but it was just something very David. So instead and it's on private property, so we're waiting to see if we could get permission or not, but we've decided to come and do some of the other scenic things that are in and around this part of Tasmania, including the Tasman Arch, sort of the blowhole, the tessellated sort of cliffs and rocks, and those sorts of things. It's a little bit misty in them there hills. On this little short walk of the Tasman Arch, coastal eucalypt forest, and you can smell one of our favourite Australian smells. The eucalyptus is nice and sort of pungent in through here. It's beautiful.
Don't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, really wanna know.
Oh, yeah.
If I even if I'm falling down, I will keep can say I lost my mind. I will keep on holding my.
The weather started out a bit miserable. Patches of sun come through, as I keep saying. This is Tasmania. But anyway, you work through it. And we went down to Tasman Arch, which is really accessible. I mean, there's just a little sort of 1 kilometre loop to see the arch and Devil's Kitchen and those sorts of things. And the seas were relatively calm today, so they weren't in full cry today. But it was still interesting to go and have a look. It is one of the sort of better known sort of tourism locations around Tasmania, so you did have people there. It wasn't too crowded. And now we're going to go and find some coffee. We're not going to Port Arthur on this trip because we've been before. And we've only got 3 weeks on this trip, but if you haven't been to Tassie, you really do need to go to Port Arthur. It's a fascinating insight into that convict period. And so, where are we going? The tessellated pavement. And on our way, we saw that there was this well-rated place for coffee called Cubed Espresso Bar and Food, and it actually has to have one of the best views of an espresso bar we've ever seen. It's a little van pitched on the side of the cliff overlooking Clarence Bay. A little bit nipply. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube?
Probably not.
Okay, it's a little bit nipply, and
There's lots of people here.
Oh yeah, and there's a lookout. The coffee is good. The coffee is actually one of the better ones we've actually had on our travels in
And
through
the bicky
Tasmania.
was nice too.
And they had nice cookies and those sorts of things, and they were quite helpful, and they were very busy. So, but there's an option if you want a cafe or a table with a view. It's certainly warmer in the car. This area is one of those things that if you've got more time than we have, you can look at some of these things from the land as we're doing today, but there's various tours that you can actually go sort of on boat tours. Some of these things would look absolutely spectacular if you can afford it and have the time to do something from the sea as well, so that's probably. Where are we, Paula?
We're going to Swansea.
Where are we, Mike? I know now.
I am recording. Can't say that on YouTube. We're going the Scenic route.
So, be careful about where your car navigator takes you. This is the route that it's suggesting that we go from Denali to Swansea, so we're taking a picturesque and the scenic diversion. It put us onto a sea road, which is not unusual in Tasmania. And all of a sudden we saw a sign saying suitable for 4-wheel drive vehicles only. And fortunately we have one of those. So we thought, alright, let's see how we go. But it actually looks to me like we're on a forestry road of some sort. I'm sure this is not the quickest route. It might be the shortest route, but I don't think it's the quickest route.
Having fun?
I am. Happy in the service. I should have actually pulled the map out. But anyway.
This is worth coming down this way.
The glorious days on the cloud. Well, there's a couple of clouds in the sky. Now, is that Mariah Island?
I don't know.
That might be Mariah Island.
Oh,
So we've had a reasonably sort of long day up from Denali. We took the circuitous, scenic and picturesque forestry road drive up to Swansea, and it was busy there, so we sort of kept coming up, and we parked up at the Freycinet Golf Club, which was full. It was quite packed in there, so we managed to just get a spot. Just a beautiful afternoon, so we thought, let's go and do our first walk at Wineglass Bay this afternoon. 1.5 hour return.
Life is a
And
winding road,
grade 3 walk.
no telling
no turning
where
back
it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high.
Wow!
Even if the
Check this
sky's
out.
falling down.
I made it.
Come on, you alright?
Yes.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know,
Oh, there he is, Dad. Hello. You're in the way.
So what do you think of that?
It was okay.
It's just okay. A beautiful vista of
Yeah, it was-
Wineglass Bay. You had a
Pretty view.
you had a paddy melon come sort of up close, and it was a pretty view. But what?
You have to do all the exercise to get there.
It wasn't that bad, was it?
No, I suppose not.
I thought it was pretty good.
You did?
Hey, g'day. So we're at Cockle Bay in Tasmania, which is we're Wineglass Bay. We're doing a bit of administration today, so I'm going to head to post office, which we organised some vital supplies, including our coffee, postal stuff anyway. So we've been on the road for a little while now. We bought the van, bought the car, shaken them out, had a bit of experience with them, and on the road we thought it's probably useful to now do a couple of posts which are sort of less about the sort of the travel log and where we've been, things, and more about why did we buy this van, how did we buy a van, how did we buy this car, how did we plan the lap. So we'll do, I call them the technical, or maybe I should call it the not so technical series. But if you're someone who's contemplating buying a van, particularly your first van, if you're contemplating whether you can afford to take the time and the cost for that matter of doing a lap of Australia or some other big trips, you might get something, and we'll introduce ourselves a little bit more because we don't have the kids with us. Our girls have grown up. One's at home house sitting. The house for us. Hi Rach, I hope you're keeping it clean, and I hope that the cats are all happy. And wash your car anyway. And our other daughter in the Gold Coast, so they've grown up. So you might, if you've got a family, there's a number of YouTube channels which are dedicated to people who are travelling with a family. So what's different about ours? Well, we're midlife, right? So we're not ready to retire yet. So we're not. Yeah, that's good. Hey, g'day. Thanks for joining us at Next Level Oz. Next episode, 3-week trip to Tasmania comes to an end. Is 3 weeks really enough? And we nominate what we think the top 10 Tasmanian icons are. Again, thanks for joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, 100% of our YouTube advertising revenue goes to charity.